Welcome back to Right Fashion Academy YouTube channel for another interesting tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll be teaching you how to sew different layered dress. I'll be teaching you how to properly calculate your layered flared dress. It can be 6 layers, 7 layers. It can be 4 layers, 3 layers. As you can see right here, I have 6 layers right here. That is for my doll. I'll be using my doll to share with you the tips and tricks to sewing beautiful layered dress. The first thing you are going to take is your hip measurement. Your hip measurement is the biggest part of your body right here. It can be your waist as well. Then you take your length of the dress. The hip here I measured is 18 inches and the length is 17 inches. So you need to get your hip and you need to get the length. Then how many layers you want to make? I am making 6 layers. If you want to make 7 layers, 8 layers, 4 layers, you can write it down. Next is your lining length. My lining length right here, I'm going to minus the full length, which is 17 inches. You take away 3 inches from it. Mine gave me 14 inches. Now this lining length, I'm going to add 1 inch seam allowance to it, making it 15 inches. Now for the spacing, you will divide 15 by 6. It will give you 2.5 inches. So 2.5 inches is the spacing I'm going to give on the lining to sew my layered dress. I believe you understand. So right now we are going to fold our fabric using the total hip divide by 2. Whatever you have on your hip circumference, divide it by 2 and add 1 inch for zip allowance. So my hip is 18. I divided it by 2, it gave me 9. Then I added 1 inch, making it 10 inches. So I folded at 10 inches and measured the length of my lining, which is 15 inches as calculated. And that is exactly what I cut out right now. Now we are going to mark the spacing. The spacing is 2.5 inches. So I'll just go ahead and mark 2.5 inches spacing. So I'm working on a doll, a smaller body. So whatever you have on your own as calculated, just mark it accordingly. So if you count here, you will see that I have 6 lines. Next, I'm going to rule the lines across. These are the lines we are going to stitch our layered dress on. After marking the lines, next we are going to cut the layers. Make sure you fold the down part of your lining before you stitch the layers. To cut out the layers, I got 2 yards of fabric right here. Though I'm working on a smaller body, if you are working on a bigger body, you can start with 3 yards. Okay, so you can fold your 3 yards this way. If you place it on fold, the first thing you are going to calculate right now, you will use the measurement of what you have on the first line. So whatever you measured on that first line, from the beginning you take your measurement on one of the lines like this, and then divide the total by 3.14 because you are going to cut half a circle. So now I'm going to mark my radius. The radius of what you got under your hip or that line, divide by 3.14. Whatever you have, you just mark it. So I've marked my initial radius. Now for the length, remember the spacing is 2.5 inches. So you just add 2 inches to whatever measurement you have. So for me, I just added 2 inches to 2.5. So 2 inches to 2.5 gave me 4.5 inches. So I will just go ahead and add 4.5 inches. I will keep marking 4.5 inches like that. I will mark 4.5 inches all the way, but you can just add 1 inch, making it 5 inches. Okay, so you have your hemming allowance and your stitching allowance as well. So I kept marking 4.5 inches like that until I got to the end of my 2 yards. Here I've gradually come to the end of it right here. So you can see me marking it all the way around. Next, I started to cut the layers. So I kept cutting the layers, as you can see right here. I'll cut all of them out. This is me still cutting out the layers. So you cut it till you get to the very end. So once you get to the end, that does not mean you are going to throw away the other fabric. You can still go ahead and take the measurement. Wherever it stops like that, you cut it out, okay? So you follow the circle till you exhaust the fabric. Now I will bring back my lining and I will go over to the machine. I can decide to make machine gathers or hand gathers, and you can see the shorter one here. I'm going to start with the shortest one, but I will just join my fabric because where it is now, you notice that this circle, the first circle, is too short. So you can just keep joining your circles this way and gathering it into the line. So I will start from the down part and gather up to the upper part. So let's go to the machine. Let me show you how to do that. On the machine, the first thing I'm doing is to join. So I've already joined the shorter part to make it longer. Now, like I said, I'm going to start from the down part, but I will advise you weave those circles. You can go to your weaving machine and weave the flat part. You can weave the up and the down so it will be neat for you. So I will now start sewing. So you have to leave 1 inch before sewing. You leave 1 inch. That 1 inch will be for stitching the lining. Please don't stitch from the beginning. Now I'm going to make hand gathers. So you are going to be even. If you are using hand gathers, that means you will be gathering evenly. But if you are using machine gathers, you can also gather evenly. Here you can see I'm almost getting to the end of my gathers. So I kept gathering. So if you notice here, you will also see that the flare part is still remaining. And I left 1 inch under the lining. So what I'll just do is to cut the flat part. I'll just cut it like this and also join it to another layer. Please don't throw away any of these layers because you are going to use them to finish up your layers. So 3 yards or 4 yards will be okay depending on the kind of layers you are making. Now you can see what I have here. I've made the first layer. So the gathers depends on how gathered you want your gathers. If you want it less gathers, you can just gather a little. There's no particular measurement on how to gather. So I'll just go ahead and gather all of them right away. After gathering, this is what I got right here. You can see I have 6 layers right here. Like I said, don't forget to fold the lining too. Now you can see the spacings I told you to leave. So all these spacings are very, very important because we are going to use it to stitch the lining separately. I'll go over to the machine now. I'm going to leave my zipper allowance and I'm going to stitch 1 inch all the way down, only the line. Now after stitching the lining, I went ahead to turn the dress to the right side. So I'm done turning the dress to the right side. So you can see the flares are separate. So I'm going to put them right side to right side and stitch with 1 inch. I'll keep stitching them with 1 inch separately like that. After stitching, this is what I got. You can see they are all on their own. So don't stitch the lining and the flares together. Then on the part that has the zipper, you first of all go ahead and add your zipper. After adding your zipper, whatever you have left, you can turn it to the wrong side, place it right side to right side and stitch it alone so it stays on its own after the zipper. So that is how to make your layer dress. So if you want to attach it to a shared dress, click on the link on the description box below to learn how to attach it and make a shared upper part. Thanks for watching and see you in the next one. Bye.